is Lacey with SmartCast, and I'm joined today with my friend Ashley. She was here today for an AMI training for our estheticians on the Diamond Glow, and she is a faculty member at SkinMedica, as well as she works at SkinBody Memphis, SkinBody Nashville, and she does tons of training and consulting for other businesses. So I'm super happy to have you on the podcast with us today so you can share with our listeners about the art of consulting.
Yes.
And consultations for patients and what you should expect out of a consultation.
Absolutely. So I love giving consultations. I actually, the first time I meet a client or a patient, that would be a consultation, but I also do assessments, and I think that's really important. I have a form for the consultation, and then I have an assessment form where we assess their progress. And I think that's just as important as the consultation itself, is that you update their progress. You might have to change their skincare out seasonally, but it's one of the most important things in a consult is to credential yourself. A lot of estheticians are so afraid of credentialing themselves. So the first thing I say is, nice to meet you. And then I say, hi, my name is Ashley Riggs. I'm a licensed esthetician, a certified laser specialist, and the sales director here at SkinBody Memphis. I'm also an Allergan faculty member, so I'm a national trainer for SkinMedica and Diamond Glow. Nice to meet you. There's my spiel, ha, ha, ha. Now tell me about yourself. Before we talk about skincare, before we talk about treatments, before we talk about lasers, before we talk about anything, I allow them to give me the information that they want me to know first, because it can be a very emotional sometimes. And so that would change the way that I approach that patient, right? Sometimes they're newly widowed, sometimes they're newly divorced, sometimes they're happy about it, and sometimes they're not, right? Sometimes they're a brand new mom, sometimes they're a college student. So I let them give me all of that kind of information, and I take notes. I think it's important to take notes on lifestyle, budget. You don't ask them about budget, but you listen. Mm-hmm. Lifestyle, budget, expectations, and timelines. So that's the second thing we talk about. I say, okay, I'm going to throw some words out, like expectations, timelines. Are we trying to get ready for something? Well, why are you here? Tell me why you're here. And then I let them tell me why they're there. I always take pictures. We do have an imaging, system. Most people do. And so that'll analyze their skin. And then I'll start talking about their regimen, because that's 80% of their result. And I let them know that off the bat. Retail is extremely important, or I don't even call it skincare. I call it at-home care. Mm-hmm. So we write out their AM and their PM. Then there's month 1, month 2, month 3, and month 4. Most of the time, I'm going to fill it out all the way to month 4. But, let's say they're moving in 2 months, or let's say they're a traveling nurse. I say, okay, that's fine. This is our wish list. So you're allowed to, suggest things that they may not purchase that day, but I make a copy of that. I have them sign it, and I sign it as well. And I make a copy of that, and I send that home with them along with their at-home care or their preparation for their energy-based service or what have you. So I think that's really important that you credential yourself. I think it's important that you find out what emotionally moves them. I think it's important to point out things and say, hey, look, I know you're worried about your hyperpigmentation. I would also like to work on these broken blood vessels if that's okay with you, right? And I think it's important that you both sign the sheet. I really do. And keep it in their chart and send one home with them. I also tend to walk them to the retail area, and I actually hand them the products. And I do it while nodding my head. It's called the Sullivan nod. It's a very old sales tactic. But typically, if you start nodding when you're trying to suggest them purchasing something, they'll start nodding with you. And before you know it, and before they know it, they've got the products in their hands, and it turns into a much easier transaction.
Yeah.
While still being friendly.
Right. So you're doing a consultation. Do you typically do service same day, or do you do that outside of a visit that you're seeing them for a service?
Sometimes I will do the service same day, absolutely. But I do tend to I prefer to prep the skin. Most of the time when patients come to you, their skin is not necessarily in the best shape. And I would not want to work on skin that's unhealthy unless I had prepped it first. So if it's a diamond glow, yes, I'll do something like a diamond glow same day, a hydrofacial same day, right? That's totally fine. But when it comes to an energy-based service, absolutely not. You're gonna prep, whether I'm prepping you with, hydroquinone, depending on your Fitzpatrick, or, if you have melasma, or I'm going to prep you because you are dry and dusty, honey, and we got to exfoliate that skin before I put energy into it. So I actually prefer to pre-treat them for 2 weeks prior to their service. And I'm usually too busy to do it the same day anyway,
Yeah. Do you ever have any pushback on that? Because I know a lot of times our clients will ask if they're coming in for a consultation, will they be able to have a service same day? Because they all have busy lives and schedules, right. And so they just want to go ahead and, we're in a society of right now results. They want it right now.
Absolutely. We don't tend to get pushback on that because we suggest that they do a Visia with possibly a facial or a diamond glow. I don't do any facials other than mechanical or hydrofacials. I only do mechanical facials. So, I don't tend to get kickback, and it gives me a chance even to have that intimacy with them and to kind of love on them and prep their skin and they trust me a little more. And then we can talk about the energy-based treatments that they're going to receive while I'm doing their service. And that reinforces the idea that, okay, we're a team now. And I tell them that all the time, like, okay, we're a team. This is a partnership, and it builds rapport. So I never mind doing a diamond glow or a hydrofacial same day as a Visia. It's just energy that I would be reluctant to do. And if anyone's ever been, and I have had someone before be very annoyed because she actually made an energy-based appointment and I had never met her, never done a Visia, and she was of Asian descent and wanted an IPL, and she was flying the next day. And that is when I decide that we are not a fit, and I have no problem sending you out into the world, but I will educate you first on how you can really end up hurt if you do that. So I educate them, and then I walk them with a big smile on my face to the door.
Yeah, I mean, typically any of our first-time patients, if they're doing treatment same day, it would be a hydrofacial or a diamond glow or an ultrasound-based treatment or something like that. So it's not ever going to be like a scarlet microneedling or IPL or things like that typically.
I'm obsessed with scarlet.
Can't talk enough about Scarlet. I feel like every single podcast is on Scarlet.
Really?
Yes.
That's so funny. Oh my gosh.
We love Scarlet so much. And I guess I'm just super passionate about it as well because we literally demoed every microneedling radiofrequency device on the market before we saw Scarlet, and we were like, this is it. It was
Dr.
that aha moment where we were just like, like the stars aligned, and we were like, this is the perfect fit for us. This was going to give those results-driven, outcomes for our patients.
Yes.
The tolerability was great. The company was great.
The company's great.
I mean, there was just nothing about it we didn't like.
Yeah, and it comes up in every consultation of mine too, because I don't care if you're 21 years old or if you're 65. Everyone can benefit from Scarlet, and it not only is a treatment, it can slow the progression of aging, and so it's maintenance. It's just a part of what we do, and I mean, obviously, you and I can attest to it because we both have flawless skin. I'm just saying.
Well, I mean, we even love that its name is Scarlet. Like, we'll wheel her in and we're like, we'd like for you to meet Scarlet. She's going to be your best friend.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, we introduce Scarlet like she's a person.
Me too.
Like, this is your BFF.
Yes.
For the rest of your life.
Same. You're going to love her.
Faces, chest, like hands, body.
Beautiful.
Like, you can do anything with it. And especially adding on the exosomes with it too.
Absolutely.
I mean, our outcomes have just been phenomenal.
XOE, yeah.
Everybody's been really happy with the results. And
100%.
I told you we had our holiday open house last weekend, and our specials are available through the end of the year, but everyone looks forward to the Scarlet specials because
Yes.
they just stock up and
It's addictive.
plan it out through the year. So
addictive. I bring it up in every single consultation. Every
Agreed.
single one. That is one device I bring up in every consult.
it is. And we, I was telling you earlier during our training that we love to pair it with the Diamond Glow too.
Absolutely.
Doing the Diamond Glow in between the Scarlet has made for such a great result. It exfoliates the rest of the dead skin off. It hydrates the skin afterwards.
Yep.
It heals the skin when you're using the TNS serum with it. So it's just going to elevate those results that much more.
100% better results, faster healing.
Yeah.
Those two words are my favorites, and the two words I hate most is adverse event. So
Absolutely.
yeah. I love Diamond Glow. It's often brought up in my consultations, just because, like you said, it's perfect for prepping and post. It's great for those that are in their 20s. But yeah, Scarlett is probably our biggest workhorse, right? I mean, she's just so addictive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I asked for a larger tip, like, because we order 5 boxes at a time. And I was like, can we get a 10-box discount? Like, what's the 10-box discount? Can we get an auto ship? Like, how does this work? I finally talked him into free shipping, but.
We go through them. We've got 2 in Memphis and 1 in Nashville, and they work all the time.
Yeah.
And it's part of our non-surgical facelift as well.
Yeah. You can get a beautiful lift with it.
100%. Oh, beautiful, beautiful lift. And it can shut down vessels and makes pores look tiny, tiny. It tightens, it lifts.
And the neck, treating all the way around to the back of the neck. Yes. I mean, the results that we've seen just in that alone have been
that
incredible.
Saran wrap effect.
We don't even need Kybella. We've got Scarlett.
Absolutely. Love Scarlett. Oh, my God. Yeah, and I love, too, the idea in a consultation of educating the patient on why their regimen is important along with their services. I think that is a mark that is missed by most estheticians. I've done a large training today, and the average that the girls were saying that they suggested in terms of productile was, I think, 1 or 3. I heard 1 from a lot of them. And, I think that I tell estheticians to memorize their license number.
Yeah, I heard you say that.
It's very important to know that you are a licensed professional. A lot of estheticians, some of them are much younger, and they're timid and they're afraid. And I told one of them before I left, I said, get out of their wallet. It's none of your business.
Exactly.
It's absolutely none of your business. And if their priority is to come to you as an esthetician, then they want to know, or as an injector, they want to know what you want them to use. They want to be told what to use. And there is actually a statistic from Allergan Medical Institute where 75% of patients will purchase from a skincare professional over a medical doctor, a plastic surgeon, a dermatologist. 75% are looking for skincare professionals, whether they're injectors, estheticians. Doesn't matter if you are in medical aesthetics or in aesthetics, they are listening to us. And there's also a statistic where it's like, I think it's something like, I could be totally wrong on this one, though, but it's high. It's like 80% of them will immediately leave after having a facial service done. And if they don't leave with your products, they will go straight to Sephora. They will go straight to Ulta, and they will purchase Walgreens, anywhere. And you know what's funny about that is I used to represent skincare companies that were sold in Ulta and Sephora stores. So I know they were buying it from me. They didn't know that I didn't work at Ulta and Sephora. I was wearing all black, but I worked for Exuviance. I worked for, It Cosmetics, who has makeup and skincare, and I worked for Drunk Elephant. So what they didn't realize was they thought I was just an employee, right, for Ulta saying, oh, I love this stuff. But I was actually making money from whatever, not usually directly from the company. It was usually through an agent that would hire me. But I mean, yeah, they're going straight to Ulta after their facial.
So, since you have so much experience working at Ulta with some of those brands, tell me from your personal opinion the biggest differentiator between those skincare products and science-based products that we're selling and offering at medical spas.
Absolutely, I'd love to. Most of the time, those products are, for one, they're cheaply made. They are not regulated the same way. They are not active. A lot of women will tell me, I'll say, bring me your skincare graveyard, right? And they'll tell me, well, this is my retinol. And I look and, it's retinol palmitate, listed like last. And I'm like, that's not retinol, though. It's like seventh in line chemically to actual retinol. But also the research and development that, billions and billions of dollars, these medical grade skincare companies spend billions of dollars and they weed out what doesn't work and they put in all the stuff that does. So do you want to buy a cheap L-ascorbic acid vitamin C that's going to break you out because it's not the proper pH and it's not packaged properly and it's going to turn brown and
it's not stable, right?
It's unstable. Yeah. It might break you out. Or would you like to use a product that has 13 antioxidants or 17 antioxidants? Do you want blue light protection? Because you're probably not going to find that over the counter. So that's the difference. These are pH, these are active, these pH balance active, billions of dollars into research and development, and they work. I tell them all the time, it's usually around Halloween, I say, bring me your skincare graveyard and I'll give you 10% off of a full regimen. And then we're going to update your pictures in a month and then tell me that you're not happy that you dumped the skincare graveyard and now you have a regimen that works.
That would be cute during Valentine's Day, too. Break up with your ex.
Break up with your ex. He's toxic.
Yeah. So, there's so many different brands that promote like hyaluronic acid.
Right.
So, tell me a little bit about the difference, why those are different.
Absolutely. So hyaluronic acid comes in different molecular weights. Mm-hmm. It's actually really hard for hyaluronic acid to penetrate the skin. So most of the time what happens is it just sits on the surface, unless it's balanced to where you have those different weights, like an HA5 or something like that, right? You've got different levels that can actually penetrate the skin, and they stay in the skin much longer. So these topical HAs that feel like, like a super lightweight and silky, they might feel nice, but what are they really doing? Are they really penetrating? Are they really staying in the skin? How many molecular weights do they have? Is it just one? Or is it sodium hyaluronate? Or is it hyaluronic acid? I mean, it's very, very different.
Mm-hmm. And what do you say to patients that are mixing their skincare brands?
So I'm going to be honest. I am a nerd. I am not a brand person necessarily as much as I am an ingredient nerd. However, you can have issues if you're using certain products by one company versus another. That came up today for
especially medical-based companies versus over-the-counter-based companies.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I try to do as much research as possible to make sure that these are chemically going to work well together if they're in a different line. I always have my preference, of course. Mm-hmm. I have my preference. But that
we'll go ahead and plug SkinMedica right here.
Okay, thank you. SkinMedica is my favorite. They are manufactured by the Allergan Medical Institute, who makes Botox. So Botox pays the bills, right? For SkinMedica. They spend literally billions of dollars in research and development. They also study and publish everything. They also put their products side by side by every other product on the market before they even launch it to show you that it is more productive. So as an esthetician, I feel confident when I am, telling my clients about TNS, tissue nutrient solution, for instance. It has 450 human growth factors and 13 broad spectrum antioxidants and anti-inflammatories and marine extracts, and it's 13 products in one. So it's Yeah, it's productive. It's, I love the word productive, and I'm very result oriented. And SkinMedica tends to get my patients there faster.
Yeah. And so so I know that SkinMedica especially does a lot of clinical testing to make sure that their ingredients are working well together.
Yes.
So when they're using a 5-step skincare regimen,
Right.
how are those ingredients working together? If you have one product that they have balanced to work together, but then you start layering other treatments on top of that, does that mess with the formulation at all? Or
It can sometimes, yes. And that's typically when your patient will come in and say, oh, this is rolling on my face, or, it's not absorbing well enough, or this broke me out. It's like, did that product break you out, or did the mixing of two products that, one might even diminish the efficacy, not just the irritate, but diminish the efficacy of it.
And now I know that several ingredients,
Yep.
while you think would be great, but they actually cancel each other out.
They do.
So one of the things that we hear the most is for products that are helping with hyperpigmentation. And they'll say it works for a while and then it stops working, or this doesn't work for me.
Right.
What's your recommendation in that situation?
So, hydroquinone is regularly used to treat hyperpigmentation. What most people don't realize is that it's only meant to be used for 3 to 4 months at a time. Otherwise, you get a pigment rebound. And at that point, you can even bake the damage into your skin. So it is true that it can, quote unquote, stop working. I prefer non-hydroquinone.
We do too. We don't offer hydroquinone at all.
Good, yeah. I prefer non-hydroquinone. Even Incorrect just came out. It's got tons of brightening agents. It has tranexamic acid. I mean, it's absolute resorcinol. It's absolutely game changer, especially when you use it along with the Even Incorrect pads, which are nice for chemical resurfacing. And then the spot treatment is very, very powerful as well. And we all know you can't spot treat with hydroquinone anyway.
Right.
So they've come out with a complete line of products that work together synergistically for hyperpigmentation. And no, you will never get used to tranexamic acid, right? Your skin's not going to go, I am rejecting this now, right?
So what would it be in other skincare products that are for hyperpigmentation, say the Lytera 2.0 or Elastin's melanin inhibitor, Skin Better's Even Incorrect? Like,
right.
What would be in those formulations that would work for a while and then they suddenly don't see results from it anymore?
You know what? The only thing I could think of is none of those have hydroquinone in them, as far as I'm.
They don't.
Right.
No.
None of them have hydroquinone in them. However, maybe they worked really well for a while because the patient is usually more compliant when they begin something.
Right.
Lytera definitely took a while to kick in, but no one ever said it stopped working. It's just that it took a long time. That's why they came out with Even Incorrect, 6%, I think, more tranexamic acid and much more brightening agents. So either they're being less compliant, and that happens. I always joke that I have good Judys and I have bad Judys,
right?
And I love them all.
Yeah.
But some of my bad Judys are lying liars who lie. And so never forget that
they're not wearing their sunscreen anymore.
They're not wearing their sunscreen anymore.
They're getting hot and not protecting their skin from the heat.
Or they have melasma and they went and got in a sauna at the Four Seasons.
Hot yoga.
Yeah, hot yoga, yeah. And so, yeah, you do still have to do other things to prevent that pigment from coming back. So, or they went to Bora Bora and you see them on Facebook and you're like, girl, bye. Like, you're lying. But yeah, I wouldn't see how any of those as non-hydroquinones would stop working unless the like you said, they're in the sun, they're not as compliant with their sun care, they have some sort of maybe poikiloderma or melasma, which is vascular in nature, and even a hormonal fluctuation can cause the hyperpigmentation to come back. So you have to really educate them too. You have to educate them and say, listen, that could have been a hormonal fluctuation. It'll go back. Just continue on. You just have to encourage them a lot, I think. Educate and encourage.
Yeah, I mean, that's the biggest thing for us too. going back to what we were speaking on earlier about staying out of their wallet, the biggest thing for me with our staff is education. It is our job as their estheticians to educate them on what's the best thing to give them the outcomes that they're searching for, and then it's up to them to decide what they want to invest in. And even if some of those items are on, as you said earlier, their wish list, and they add it in later, I mean, I will tell patients all the time, like, this is what you're going home with today, but the next product that you purchase, I would love for it to be this. And 9 times out of 10, they're like, well, maybe I'll go ahead and get that. And that's their right to decide what's valuable to them. Like, for me, I don't care about certain things, and then I care about other things. And so, I mean, it's not for anybody to say what somebody can or can't afford. It's what's important to them and what they want to invest their money in.
Absolutely. And two, expensive, the word expensive is relative, right? So I have a watch that I wear every day. I've worn it every day since I bought it. I absolutely love it. It has white gold and yellow gold, so it matches everything. I know.
We're over here like watch twins.
And maybe some people would consider this watch expensive. To me, I like this line. I collect this line. I like the colors. I like the chain. I love everything about it.
Mine doesn't even have the right time on it, but for me, it's like a piece of jewelry.
Yes.
So I mean, but my brother could care less about a nice watch.
Exactly.
Know? And so he will go spend hundreds of dollars on playing golf and the experience of that, to where I never would.
Absolutely. Oh no, totally. And look, I mean, my husband plays tennis, so he spends quite a bit on his hobbies too. But then he'll wear like shorts from Walmart. I'm like, okay, bro, whatever. So expensive is relative, and I like to remind people of that. What sounds expensive to you doesn't necessarily mean that it's expensive to that client. And it's really important not to prejudge people. You have no idea what they've got in their pocket. I know a millionaire that walks around with plain tee and plain jeans.
Oh, every day.
Yeah.
Those are my favorites.
I know, right? No.
So what would you say is your favorite regimen for somebody to be on for skincare service? Like, say, me, for example.
For you, I would take your age into consideration, but I can't tell how old you are.
I'm 38. I have 3 children, a 16-year-old, a 12-year-old, and a 10-year-old.
Busy.
I run this business. I drive an hour and a half each way every single day. I don't have hobbies. Work is my hobby.
Right, same.
So, and you saw my skin earlier. We did a Diamond Glow. It was amazing. Diamond Glow is one of my favorite treatments that we do. Like I said earlier, the dermaplaning Diamond Glow and Laser Genesis combination are my favorite.
Oh, that sounds fabulous.
Things to do together. Layering treatments together, I think, make such an incredible outcome. But if I wanted to be on a regular maintenance and then also step it up from time to time to level up, what would you recommend that I do?
So I heard several things, right? I always do like what the teacher does. What I heard was, with my listening ear, I heard, you have 3 children, you run a business, you are extremely busy, you're probably a workaholic, okay?
Maybe a little bit. Don't ask my husband.
But you're also in this industry, so there are some things. So I do also ask them, so what do you do? Are you a stay-at-home mom? So I would put you on TNS number 1. That would be the holy grail. It's 13 products in one. I know you're getting your growth factors, you're getting your antioxidants, you're getting your anti-inflammatories, you're getting peptides. So I could go on and on. I'm like obsessed with this stuff. It's so bad. But it's easy, and so then you would be more likely to be more compliant. I'd put you on a pH balance cleanser, probably a gentle cleanser. I would put you definitely on TNS, and I would probably put you on retinol and a sunscreen. I would keep it simple but potent. It doesn't have to be
20 steps.
It really doesn't have to be that way.
I think that patients are getting burnout on the 10-step regimens too. And so we've really tried to simplify their skincare regimens and get to what really is going to be effective for them.
I noticed that I actually checked out your spa before I came over to the training facility. I always do that. And I noticed that you are very selective with your SKUs or with the products that you carry from the different lines. And I really appreciate that because so many times, they can get very, very confused. If you've got a whole room full of products,
it's overwhelming.
Their head's going to spin.
Right.
Yeah. So I like that you're selective with your SKUs and that you do your research because that absolutely matters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so what about services?
Services for you? In late 30s, we age exponentially as human beings. So the older we get, the faster we get older. 40 is a cliff. It just is.
Whee!
Yay! I know. I'm turning 40 in December, so I'm like, we got to go to Rome.
We got
to go to Rome.
We're right there together in our age.
Yes. So I would definitely start you on energy-based services for sure. Just to prevent, not just to treat aging. I tell people I have 3 categories of clientele. I have prejuvenation, typically in their 20s and early 30s. I have rejuvenation. We start to get there in our late 30s or 40s. And then I have resurrecting the dead. So, don't become resurrecting the dead.
Well, they think that it's too late, and it's not.
It's not too late. It's just going to cost more, and it's going to take longer.
People ask us what our client range is, and I say from 12 to dead.
Yeah, totally. Total, 100%.
We treat all ages.
100%. Look, absolutely. I'm the same way. My demo is pretty varied as well, but I know it. I suggest people start Botox as a preventative at 27. Mm-hmm. That's the average,
That's
right?
That's about how old I was.
Yeah, that's how old I was, for sure. And then I suggest energy-based devices that they start after about 35 at least, because that's when you're starting to lose your collagen. It's going away dramatically. People start to see the sun damage that they acquired in their 20s. So whether that's a photofacial,
We're treating a lot of necks on younger girls these days. The tech neck has been a big thing with our late 20s, early 30s.
I know, isn't that crazy? So
and the submental little fat area right here.
That's the first sign of aging.
Of that, and they're very aware of their eyes.
Eye area. Yeah, absolutely. So I totally agree. Scarlet obviously is great for tech neck. It's unbelievably, and submental and eyes. And then we can also do some laser resurfacing, some erbium around the eyes is nice. But 35 and above, it's time to get started, ladies, Oh, yeah. And I keep saying this, and it's so true. It's going to be very, very, very interesting in 20 years what a 50-year-old looks like.
Oh, I agree.
So I'm like, get with it, girl. Get with it right now, because you're going to be competing with women who have been doing this for a while, and they don't look anywhere near their age.
Absolutely. I mean, my 12 and 16-year-old get services on the regular, and they're using science-based skincare and have been for years. I mean, their skincare regimen blows most grown women's skincare regimen out of the water.
I know my 16-year-old son brought me a basket of skincare recently, and I was like, son, geez, what are you? And I'm just giving him all this stuff, and he's collecting it, and so I had to rewrite his regimen and take about half of the products away. So even teenagers need to take care of their skin, especially so. And he does fencing too, so you can imagine those helmets, just disgusting.
The hypochlorous acid is so good for athletes.
Yes.
We've sold so much of that for our teenagers.
Absolutely.
And then my 12-year-old's on the restorative from Hydrinity as well, too, just because it helps with that redness and irritation.
Definitely.
And levels out the pH with the hypochlorous acid, too. So
yes.
That's been a new staple in her skincare regimen.
I do like that mist so much.
I do, too.
I fly a lot.
Such an elegant, little misting spray, too.
And it actually can sit on top of makeup beautifully.
Yeah, it does.
But I fly a lot, and I feel like so gross when I get off the plane. I feel like I feel gross.
Yeah.
Like I come home and I immediately clean it out.
Off.
Yeah, I'm just like, or I get into the hotel room or whatever. But I love misting that, and I'll even mist the around it and stuff. And it just, I don't know, it feels fresh too. It's light. Yeah, I love that. I love that mist.
Yeah,
love that mist.
It's been a good one. We've been really happy with that.
Yeah, and like you said, so good. I've got a girl that rides often. She has a horse and she rides often, and so she loves that mist. I was having her actually spray with vodka and water mix.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and it was working pretty well, but now she has something much better.
Well, I love that the restorative seems to shrink my daughter's pores and get rid of blackheads, too.
Oh, nice.
Which has been kind of neat. I mean, they said that that's the restorative that's doing that.
Okay, cool.
But, I mean, I really can tell a big difference.
Very nice.
She was having some blackheads, and now they're not so
Yeah,
much.
yeah.
It's kind of nice.
My son, I think one of his favorite treatments is actually by Circadia. I don't know if you're familiar with them.
Mm-hmm. We don't carry that brand, but I know what
we don't either. But I'm friends with Michael Pugliese on Facebook, and like we message and stuff. And I used to be a solo esthetician, and that's what I used. But there's a green tea mask with kaolin and bentonite and aloe, and of course green tea. And my son absolutely slathers his skin in it. It is so funny. That is like his favorite mask ever.
That is so
yeah,
cute.
and of course it's a professional grade, so you can't sell that mask. They don't sell it.
Yeah.
But he likes that, and he likes the Zeo complexion clearing mask.
Yeah. So we have a local physician or pharmacist that custom formulates some things for us, all natural stuff.
Very
and we
cool.
have a honey derma mask. And so my daughter loves that because she can just put it on the skin. It brightens the skin.
Okay, I might have to leave with
you
that.
could actually like eat it if you wanted to. That's how natural it is.
I love
But it's
that.
it smells good, and it just like.
And honey is antimicrobial.
Yes, it has oregano in it, honey, and some other things. And then
Oregano's
he
so
makes
good
a
for
custom, I was telling you earlier, he makes a custom spot treatment for acne that has oregano in it. We put it in a spray bottle so that you can spray back acne.
That's awesome.
And then he does a repair moisturizer for us.
Okay.
It has the same texture as Triple Lipid from SkinCeuticals.
Oh, wow.
But it has like a very faint, nice smell, and it's at a great price point. So
That's
it's
wonderful.
pretty nice too. So we just have a few little specialty, and then he custom formulates our numbing cream for us too.
Yeah, we have a compounder on that.
Yeah.
But the honey mask, honey, I'm leaving with that today.
Oh, yeah.
I am buying that today.
Yeah, we do like their little pots.
How
You can
great.
get like 3 uses out of them, like $6.
That's so, I love
clients
that.
love it.
I bet they do.
So
I could see why.
well, thank you so much for
welcome.
sitting down and chatting with me. It's so fun to have, a different perspective. We have our estheticians on a good bit, and some doctors and surgeons and things like that. And so it's
Cool.
always fun to have somebody in the industry, but in a different environment. And so
Right.
I really appreciate you coming on and sharing your perspective. And we had so much fun with you for the training today.
Thank you.
I can't wait to have you come back and hopefully do a Scarlet training with our staff.
Thank you. Oh, I'd love to. Scarlett,
Yes.
man, I'm obsessed. I'm telling you. And I've got some tips and tricks. I've done so many of those. It's
I love that.
ridiculous.
It's like our very own Clear Skin Institute right here.
It should be, actually. I was going to say, you should suggest to AMP that if they're more located in this part of the country, then you're certainly set up to be a training facility.
Yeah, I think that would be amazing. They need something on this side.
They do.
Because Arizona's, it's quite the
And Phoenix
hop, skip, and a jump over there.
Phoenix is not Homewood, Alabama, I'll tell you.
No. We went, Sage and I went recently to the Owner Summit. We've still been pushing
Right.
out some of the episodes from that.
Right.
But it took about, 9 hours to get there by
Yeah.
the time we had like layovers and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's not an easy trip.
It's not
From
an
this
easy
side of
trip.
the
And
country.
Homewood, this is such a nice area.
It's so cute.
So cute. It is so charming. This is the second time I've been here, and and everybody's so friendly. And no, I could
Welcome
see
to the South.
This would be a great training facility for AMP, for Scarlett, for
Yeah.
sure.
Well, great. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you for
again.
having me.
Yeah. Thank you for joining us on today's episode of SmartCast, and we'll see you next week.